with yet another late show. I told you I was going to be back this week, and I'm back with Ernest this week. I am back, going to give it what for this week. So look, guys, I hope you're all doing extremely well. Andoni Iraola, it's been announced that he's going to leave Bournemouth at the end of the season, and look, we're going to look at that later on in a bit. So this is your late show. This is your show. This is one of my favourite shows that we do. So please get in there with your chats, as we always are. We've got Scott already in there, legend of the chat. We've also got Herbie in there as well, guys. I hope you're doing extremely well this evening. So, you know, one of the questions, and I've been looking at this, that's why I was slightly late on, and I've already made up my mind on Iraola already. We'll go through the stats. We will look at the stats. We'll go through the career stats as well, because I think it's worth it. I did try to print it off. That's why I was a little tiny bit late, was because of the printer. But I'll look at it on screen and we can go through it together. I've already made up my mind on him, and I shall tell you for why when we talk through why he may or may not be the manager for me. But the first thing that says, look, get into this amazing community on this platform. Dino is in the house as well, absolute legend of this channel as well. Look, get into this amazing community. This is the best community on this platform, hands down. The only thing we do ask is get into the chat. Be respectful to yourselves. Be respectful to me. Be respectful to everybody. We don't mind the banter. The banhammer will come out if needs be. We know Scott does love the banhammer, and so do I sometimes. Just going to clean the old specs. And second of all, look, I'm not a dictator of this chat. Jabs is in the house as well. Yo, JB. Yo, Jabs. Hope you're doing extremely well. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to like, favourite and subscribe the video. It does help us out. The more likes it pushes, the algorithm does push it out if you do like the video. So if you are on here, just give us a like. It really does help out the channel, and it does push the content out to more people. And look, I really do read out your chats. Your comment, please get them in there, because I really do read them out. Over the two shows yesterday, right, I'll give you an example of what we do on this channel. Yesterday, between the two shows, messages, we had 1,700, and we got through them all. So in terms of messages on the channel, obviously I didn't read every single one of the messages, but there were 1,700 of them, and I think we did quite well on it. So we had 1,700 people message something in the chat between the two shows, which I thought was absolutely phenomenal. And exactly, Dino knows. Dino, think of the algorithm. Once somebody think of the algorithm, just please think of the algorithm, because that is what it's all about. It pushes people here and pushes people to watch the channel. And look, we are our channel. This channel will always be independent. This channel will never sell out. This channel will not sell out for a couple of quid. We are independent. We'll always be independent. Doesn't matter. So look, this is your show. I'm going to lead on Iraola tonight. Dino saying he's trying to figure out. Dino, don't try and figure it out, buddy. Don't try and figure it out. The algorithm will never be discovered. It is a mystery. It is a mystery. I would say to you, Dino, let the algorithm find you. That is the best advice that I can give to you. But Dino, no, if you ever need some tips on the algorithm, Dino, then I'm more than happily give you a hand. Dino the ledge. So look, we can start wherever you want to start tonight. I'm going to go for Iraola. Scott, absolute legend, of course he is. So Iraola, look, what is going on with him? Iraola has announced that he's leaving at the end of the season. Clickbait, exactly. Clickbait is all about clickbait. All about clickbait, exactly that. So look, where are we tonight? Iraola is another manager that is going to leave. Look, I'm so surprised. Let's go indeed. Look, let's be positive tonight. And when I say that, I mean, look, there are things that are happening around us that we can't control. We can control the things that we can control, and we're going to talk about them tonight. Iraola, look, Iraola, for me, I think he's done a fantastic job. Look, Bournemouth, I think have turned into a very stable, a very good Premier League side. I think he is a very good coach. Scott says there, slight sacked in the morning. Yeah, I didn't go through some of your chats at the very start. I will go through those first. Scott says Liverpool smoked and Barcelona are out. Herbie says that Liverpool suck it up. Look, I did see a load of stuff today, Liverpool fans giving us grief, and look, that's absolutely fine. Got no problem with that at all, but it is quite funny. Scott says that a Garnacho is washed. I don't know what is going on. Look, Amorim again was right. As we're talking about coaches tonight, that is the topic of conversation the last couple of days. That is the conversation really of tonight. I think people are now saying, and I think Scott will back me up on this. Dino, I think, has said it as well. I don't know if Herbie was around at that time. We said Amorim will get sacked. He will go, and then you will start to see at the end of the season the repercussions of that. Right? He was right when it comes to a Garnacho. The moment that Amorim left, Amorim was the stick that was used to beat him with. I give this club a lot of stick. I do, right? People have given Amorim a lot of stick, but the one thing that this club did right, the one thing that I do have to give this club credit a little bit, is it let Amorim clear out the deadwood. It let Amorim do the job that it was too scared to do. And Garnacho is one of those players that for whatever you say and whatever people say about him, Garnacho to Chelsea, as much as Mason Mount, we did over on that Mason Mount deal, we've done the same to you as well. So Garnacho is washed. Never mind. I'm not sure Iraola is the man for the United job, JB. I would still put Carrick ahead of him at the moment, especially if a top 4 finish is achieved. Gotta aim high for me. It's got to be the PSG boss, Herbie. Yes, I do agree with you on that one. We will go through Iraola. I was quite surprised with some of the things that I kind of learnt a little bit, but we will go through that as well. I had high hopes for Garnacho, but he turned out to be a complete prat, says Herbie. Dino, we said Dino's in the house. Look, so we're going through. Slot is going to be sacked in the morning. He's outgrown the club. Yes. Liverpool thought they were back, says Bluey Games. Good evening to you. I think PSG will retain the Champions League. So do I. I think PSG are an absolute cracking side. Victor Ojerman says, I don't know what that says, but thank you. Mark Henry, a team with Maguire in it cannot and will not achieve anything. And you found, and look, Mark Henry, I agree with you. Look, long term, I do agree with you. Long term, Harry Maguire is not the answer. But what is abundantly clear this season is that Harry Maguire, we need him in this team. But Mark, I don't disagree with you. I absolutely agree with you, Mark. I could not agree with you more. Good evening, JB. Nicaruzzi is in the house. Legend. Barcelona fans awfully quiet. PSG played them like a slot machine. Kind of disappointed that we lost 4-0. Oh well, says Ryan Cherky. Well, we'll end up with a Gelsman, says Ryan. I don't think we will, mate. I don't think we will. Bayern Arsenal Champions League final. Bayern will win 2-0. Maybe. I just want Arsenal to go out now. Kieran says, evening, how's you getting excited now for the ladies' 6 games? United and Villa neck and neck. Excellent. But for me, I think we should get Nagelsmann. For me, the more promising, because I'm afraid he will be like Thomas Frank, that I don't experience at a big club and pressure that he will get. Arsenal won't make the final. Bayern winners for me, says Dino. JB, what's your best 5k time? My best 5k time, David, that I did last year was 15:52. So my best 5k time last year, around about the same time last year, was 15:52. I mean, not bad at 42. Yeah, so 15.52 was last year. Iraola is leaving Bournemouth. Thoughts, JB? We're going to get onto that switch. This is that show. This is that show. We will go through all that as well. Rumours that Lampard's been lined up. It wouldn't surprise me at all. That's in insane tempo for a 5k. Yeah, I mean, there are people that do it in a much quicker, far quicker time. But yeah, I'm pleased. I'm pleased with a sub 16-minute 5k. Lampard won't leave Coventry until they are promoted. Thoughts on red card? I know you've already asked or spoken about it. No, but look, it's fine, Kieran. One of my thoughts on a red card. Look, I think the red card was, was it a red card? By the letter of the law, it is a red card. But it's got to be intent, right? Look, the reason why I'm not overly enamored by talking about it really is on the basis I think people use it as an excuse. It was a stupid red card. Should it be rescinded? Yes, I think it was an accidental red card. I don't think he did it on purpose. I think it should be rescinded, but there's no point in complaining about it. It happened. We lost. I think we need to move on. I wonder if Thomas Frank Spence is employed yet. Ryan says 5k 13.48 and I'm 45. Ryan, mate, if Ryan's doing a 5k in 13.48, then that is ridiculous. I mean, what is that? I mean, that's like a. I mean, let me look because that is. Hang on a minute. Would you say 13.48, mate? That is ridiculous, Ryan. That is ridiculous, Ryan. If Ryan's doing a 13-minute 48 5k, Ryan, that is absolutely unbelievable, Ryan. I bow down to you, buddy. I bow down. Arsenal versus Atletico Madrid is interesting because they will use Harambol. JB has the special sauce. Lots of blood in but yet I'm working on a sub 20 and I'm struggling. David, what does Ryan say? The law is the law, says Ryan. Exactly. David, I am thinking about doing a running channel. I am thinking about doing a sort of spin-off of this channel. I'm thinking about doing a sort of JB sort of running funny channel thing. I'm thinking about that. Yeah, David, it is difficult. It is difficult, mate. I think sub 20 is a speed where if you watch YouTube, if you watch Instagram, if you do all that stuff, people will lead you to believe that running a sub 20k is this like, if you can't run it, then somehow you're not important enough. Like, running a 5k on its own is difficult enough. Running it at pace is hard enough. If you can get anywhere below, I mean, half an hour, 25 minutes, I mean, look, running, but if you do any sort of run at any sort of pace, look, if you run a sub 20-minute, mate, it is, honestly, as an achievement, it is up there. So good luck on that one. Not until he won't leave, full stop. Spice says, is that Burger Boy still about? Go Arsenal. Simply just cannot go around pulling on another man's buns. Red card is a tad harsh, but from certain angles it looked quite violent. It is true, you can't go and pull on another man's buns. It is wrong. How's the light? How is it so light in your room? It's basically called a lamp, mate. Is called a lamp. How much is Iraola worth, and how much would we be willing to pay for him? Says Simon. Iraola is going to go on a free. Kieran says, I do think the game has become too hands-on. JB, too much grabbing plays, pulling back, jostling in the box for corners. The game never used to be like that. 13:48. I mean that. Look, I mean that is ridiculous. Like, I mean, I ran a 15:52. I mean, I was literally like blowing out of my butt. I would have to, yeah, I don't think I've got it in me. I mean, 13:48 is unbelievable. Unbelievable. This year's EPL winner, probably Coventry. I think, is it going to be Coventry? Maybe, I think. Ryan says, I've been running that club ever since I was 14. Live in the lakes, so it's great to get out. Ryan, mate, Ryan, it's unbelievable, mate, unbelievable. I mean, I first started running when I was 37. I was always at the gym. I always used to go to the gym. COVID hit, and then I started to run. I'm pretty pleased with my 15:52. Ryan, absolute, mate, you're an absolute god. Mate, I salute you, Ryan. Absolute legend. Too spicy for the lady. Kieran is in the house. Please do a sitting on the sofa eating crisps chocolate channel. I would be mate. I would love to do that. I would love to do that. Any United friends, after some merch or collectibles, I have some for sale. Fair enough. Only running to the toilet. How long did you train for sub 16? Well, it's probably an accumulation, right? So it probably took me from starting off at 37 until I was 41. So I'd probably say it took me best part of 4 years, best part of 4 and a bit years. I'd run loads of 19s, 18s, 17s even. But it takes a while, mate. It takes time. It does. That's the one thing you cannot beat. And I used to say this: the one thing you can't outrun is time. You need time. That's what you do. Bluey Game says, the most awkward moment of my life was 6 girls inviting me for a board game while my guys were somewhere else, generally petrified. JB would Lampe confirmed. JB, better condition than Ugarte. I would like to have a go at some running, says Herbie, but I don't want to love it and then mess my knees up at my age, as they are really good exercise as an exercise bot for me. I mean, my knees are okay. I'm going to be 43 in a couple of weeks, and my knees are okay. Dino odds on a JB select. I would happily take on a boxing match with somebody to raise some money for something. Look, if you guys want that to happen, you need to go and invade channels. Go and invade the channels. Look, I would be more than happy. I would be more than happy for it. It just means I get to run more. Just means I get to go to the gym more and train. Simon says, if no other clubs are interested in Iraola, then I think we should go for him. We've got at least fan JB versus Carrick interview at 100k. That would be awesome. Or how about Michael Carrick comes on a run with me for 100k? Okafor on the floor. JB versus Eddie Hall. JB, have you seen how tall Eddie Hall is? I mean, look, Eddie Hall, right? I mean, I'd have to run around literally like the whole thing. Because like Eddie Hall, I'd have to literally. I mean, let's be fair, right? He may not be able to move that well. He may not be able to, sort of. I saw his fight against Thor. It wasn't great, but if he punches you once, I mean, I'm flying through that ring. So Eddie Hall's probably probably just maybe just a tiny bit, a little bit too big, do a Madrid versus Bayern. I might actually do that tomorrow. I played football for 9 hours non-stop alone and was cramped for the whole day. Jesus Christ. JB versus Mark Goldbridge. Make it happen. Make it happen. You'll be very, very disappointed at how short the boxing match would be. It would be very, very short, and he would not be winning. Goldbridge is sellout, says David. Invade my channel, please. Yeah, invade his channel 100%. This should be a United fan channel versus AFTV. I agree with you. Didn't Eddie Hall take on the two midgets? Yes, he did. Goldbridge News Today said it all about the guy. He's going to run that channel like Netflix. Get your wallets out. JB and Radcliffe. Oh, Champers. Let's go, Champers. Come on, Jono. Come on, JB. Let's talk about this, JB. You're a hell of a guy, JB. What a channel. Champers, JB. Champers. Iraola, look, Iraola, let's talk about Iraola and then we can get back to all the other stuff. But look, this is your show. This is your show, by the way, so get in there. So, Iraola, who is Iraola? Iraola is 43 years old. Iraola is a little bit older than me. He is a Spanish coach. Built his reputation in AEK Lacana, I think that's how you pronounce it. 29 matches, 1.6 matches per games. Then Mirandes, 49 matches, 1.45 points per game. Now, where he really cut his teeth was Rayo Vallecano, 136 games. Slacking. 136 matches, 1.46 points per game, and in Bournemouth 120 matches and 1.3 points per game. Now, his main career achievements include this: Copa del Rey semi-final with Mirandes, taking Rayo Vallecano up to La Liga, and then guiding Bournemouth to the highest Premier League finish, joint 9th on 56 points. Now, look, on the face of it, look, that doesn't read like a list of an elite coach. It doesn't. So I think when we're looking at a coach, and I can't be a hypocrite on this one, is when I'm talking about best in class. Ultimately, Iraola, just from the CV, look, should he be given a chance? I think if people want to give Carrick a chance, I think that Iraola, by the same token, given he's got more Premier League experience than a Michael Carrick, should he be given a chance? So that's the question that I kind of want to ask now in terms of, and I think Iraola is younger than Carrick as well. I think, what's Carrick, 40? What's Michael Carrick? Michael Carrick is 44, is he? Michael Carrick. How old's Carrick? Michael Carrick is 40, whatever he is. Carrick is 44. So Iraola is got more experience, more top-level Premier League experience. So what I'm saying here is, if people are prepared to give Michael Carrick a chance, are people prepared to give Iraola a chance on the basis of that? I'm going to be consistent, and I'm going to say, based on that, I wouldn't do it on the basis of that. Now, when we are looking at his system, he does play a 4-2-3-1 in the Premier League. He does use a 4-2-3-1 in every other league. He does shift in and out, so he is a 4-2-3-1. He uses fullbacks, he uses wingers, he uses the midfield to jump forward into the press, and the four can revert back and go into a narrower position when they transition back. he plays a very, very similar style, in my opinion, to United of what they're playing now. I think Bournemouth, when we've watched them twice, and there's no coincidence that we've got draws against them, I think we play very, very similar to Carrick. I think Iraola plays a very, very similar-ish game, very, very similar style. I think they were better. So look, his style of play is based on intensity, pressing, verticality, chaos. When I hear those words and I hear intensity, pressing, verticality, and chaos, I hear Leeds. It's a very, very Leeds United way of playing. As we spoke about on Sunday before the Leeds game, it's exactly the same. Leeds did exactly what we predicted, what we spoke about that they would do, and Bournemouth do the same. They are intense. They do like to press. Now, one of the things I think we do need to talk about, I am not getting into the Bruno Fernandes debate tonight. No chance. Yeah, I'm not getting into that tonight. Iraola, look, he's going to come into this side, and yeah, I am not getting into that debate. I lost an hour of my life over that last night, which is fine. Yeah, we're not getting into this one. We're not getting into this one. 100% not. So look, Iraola likes intensity. Iraola likes pressing and verticality. Now, I heard somebody or saw somebody mention Thomas Frank. One of my fears here is that, is Iraola going to be a Thomas Frank? And the one thing that keeps repeating around in my brain in terms of the things that I say, do we want to give another manager a chance? Do we want to give Iraola a chance? He's going to be free. Iraola is probably going to cost you the same amount as Carrick is going to cost you. Do we want to give a manager a chance? And this is where I struggle. I like his style of play. I like the fact that he's intense. I like the fact that he presses. Have we got the team to do that style of play? He's not a counter-attacking manager. He's a smothering. He likes to try to get his place to smother teams. Liam is in the house. I think what he would do, what he does do, he does give a tactically clear idea. That's the one thing that I would say that he does have on his side. And I guess my question is would you rather take a chance on a Michael Carrick, who is tactically unproven at this level, or Iraola, who is in a similar position, but he is tactically proven at this level? Bluey Game says, off topic, JB, should do a football trivia for a gifted sub someday. I did do a trivia show. I will bring it in again. The only problem for me is time. But I will look to do one again. I've been setting up Discord today as well. So I am going to do a call-in show. I've been setting up Discord today. So I've set it all up. I just need to test it. And then I will be setting up a Discord calling show. So I'm going to turn this evening show, not every single one. Let's see how it goes. But I will be bringing in a calling show. So if you guys do want to get onto it, I'll give you the Discord. And you guys can get in there, and then I can bring you onto the show, and we can debate it out. We will not be debating it en masse. We'll do a singular debate, and then I can bring you on in different points in the show. So just bear that in mind. You should make a Discord. I have made one, and I will do that. I will do that. So I've been looking into Discord today. I've been expanding the empire. I'm trying to expand the empire. So I will be giving you guys as many avenues to talk about United as we possibly can. So look, Iraola, look, Iraola is a modern, front-footed coach. I think he's got an identity that he wants to play. I think the ultimate problem with Iraola is what Carrick suffers from right now is this. Can we afford to give a manager a chance? We've done go and try to get the best in Jose. That didn't work. The David Moyes thing, I don't even know what the fuck that was. We've then gone Ollie, we've then gone hipster with Amorim, like Eric Ten Hag. I don't know what we do. But the one factor that I'm going to say now, and I think this is ultimately what turns me off about him, and this is where for me I would have to say that it is a hard no for me when thinking about him. And look, his win percentage, and yes, we can say, look, this is a Bournemouth, and you can look at these figures and say, well, actually for a Bournemouth this is quite good, or you can say, well, actually no likey, switchy, no likey. Sorry, that was awful. So his win ratio falls somewhere between 34 and 36%. His win, so he's won 37 roughly of 107 games. His overall managerial career stats are roughly about 37%. Now, when you frame it like that, do we want a manager whose win ratio is 37%? Michael Carrick so far in his career is something like 46%. JB, the channel look, I can't help it. I can't help it. I can't help having a gift. Okay, it's just a gift. It's a curse at times. I'm just a man of many talents. I'm not. He is another coach. And I think David is right. I think Herbie is right. I think for me, he would be another hipster coach. But I have to bring Carrick into this equation. And I think Carrick is a hipster coach as well. I think Iraola, Ten Hag, I think they are a little bit more hipster. I think they are very, very niche. The worry that I've got for any manager stepping into this club, whether that's Iraola, whether that is Glasner, Carrick, and whether that is him as well, is they're going to need the players, and Iraola is going to need a certain type of player. Iraola is going to need workers in his team. He's going to need players who are going to know how to work hard in this team. He is one of those coaches, in my view. I like how he plays. I'm not too put off by the 37-40% win, because if you look at the teams that he's managed in the leagues that he has, 40% of wins for a Bournemouth team is not bad. I want somebody to take a chance on him. It's very so. How I would liken the situation for me is this. I would go get Eddie Howe, right? So I would like to see Iraola do what Eddie Howe's done. Go and move to a Newcastle. Go and take them into the Champions League. Go to a Villa. Take that next step below. Now, people will say, and correctly so, that we are no longer elite. But I think what people seem to forget about what we are. And Switch, would I still take an Emery? I would do. I would. I would do. I think if we're talking about managers who are available and managers who are, you give them a year or two deal, right? Emery, for me, I would happily give him a 3-year deal. I would. I think we need stability. Now, if for a second, I thought that this club was going to go and get the best of the best players, there is no point going out and getting a Tonali and Anderson, the best of the best players, if you're gonna put Emery in charge. Not because I don't think he's good enough. I want somebody who's maybe a little bit younger, but again, or I know Enrique isn't, but I think Enrique is just, I think he is a world-class coach now. You need to line up the manager with the players. And Bluey Games, I think you're right. I think this is too much of a risk. I think Carrick is too much of a risk. I think Iraola will go the way of Frank. I think Iraola will come into this side. He will try to make these players run. He will try to implement. You can see it. You can see what will happen. He will come in. He will try to make these players run. He will implement a system. These players will not be able to perform the system. These players will not be able to do the things that he's asking them to do. And he'll be sacked by Christmas. You can just see it. So I think for me, I think Iraola, as much as I think that is it worthy of a punt? And my answer to that is no, because I don't think Carrick is worthy of a punt. I don't think Glasner is worthy of a punt. I don't think Carrick. I don't think Iraola. I want the best of the best of the best. And if we can't get those, then Michael Carrick gets us into the Champions League. It's gonna have to be Michael Carrick, isn't it? I there was a couple of chats, and look, I'm not. No, I think the comments on the videos have been fantastic, by the way. And I'm not disagreeing with the comments, but there is this phrase. There's this phrase, right? And the phrase is that give him a chance. Give him a chance. Could be worse, right? That is, and I'm not blaming people for saying that. It's exact and Spicy. I'm not calling that opinion out because I think you're right. But we've all been indoctrinated by this club and by INEOS and by the spin that it's acceptable to us to say, give him a chance, because that is what INEOS and Sir Jim and the Glazers want us to do. They want us to they want us to give him a chance, because it's not about Carrick. I would have no problem, right, if let's just say they actually went out and they actually interviewed, and they 100% interviewed Nagelsmann, Luis Enrique, and they came back and they said, we have reviewed the data, we've actually spoken to these guys, and we think that Michael Carrick is the best for X, Y, and Z, right? I would respect that, because at least they've gone out. They would still be wrong, but at least they have attempted to do something. Even if they were lying, even if they presented the data, made an effort and said, look, this is why we think, and stood by it. And if it went wrong, because it is going to go wrong, Wilcox gets sacked, Omar is sacked, fine. But the fact that we are saying and we are accepting mediocrity, we are accepting Michael Carrick's a best of a bad bunch. Somebody said that Enrique is off the table. Why is Enrique off the table? He's not. No manager is off the table. Tuchel, you could argue, is because he signed a contract. Why is Enrique off of the table? He's off of the table because we don't have the balls to go out and do the deal. He is off of the table because we don't have the nous to go and do it. We don't have the appetite. We don't have the money. That's the reason. That is the real reason why he is not available to us, is because we're not available. We We're not going to give him the players that he needs. We're not going to give him the club that he needs. And that's why he's off of the table. It's got nothing to do with this Michael Carrick is going to be the best of the best. It is all to do with money. It's all to do with money. So look, Iraola for me, as much as I would love, look, I'd love to give him a chance. I'd love to give him a chance, but I'd be a massive hypocrite here if I said, let's give him a chance and not give a chance to Michael Carrick. So, look, let me go through your chats. Let's go through your chats. I need to catch up on these. You guys are absolutely smashed. Yeah, look, guys, don't forget to give us a like on the video as well. Just hit that like button. It's absolutely free. It really does help the channel out. Just give us a like. Thank you. It does help the channel. I can't even tell you what the likes do. It's probably more important than anything else. Liking the video, engaging with it does so much for the channel. And thank you in advance. Amorim to Bournemouth turns him into prime Juventus switch. I thought a while back that City may go for Iraola off the Pep. I think Iraola's got something. He has. If he got, I think if Iraola goes to somebody like I don't know, like a Juventus, like I don't know, even like a Roma, like like one of those sorts of teams, like Atletico. Well, I mean, no, but if he goes to one of those sorts of teams, I think he'll do well. Lim says last night has really left me in limbo about Carrick. Can't work out whether we were awful because of the lack of match fitness or whether Carrick's tactics were too exactly very, very childish. Liam, players were missing too. Can't forget that. Liam playing Ugarte last night didn't help. If Iraola comes in, he'd better be like Sir Alex Ferguson or Pep at Barca, mid-start and then a few years from winning things. It's not going to happen. Iraola's not the man for Herbie. JB, do you think we could manage United and bring back the glory days? I don't think that I could manage. I don't think I could manage this club with these players because these players wouldn't play for me. These players wouldn't play for me. I couldn't manage. I couldn't manage this team. The principles that I would try to build into this team, these players wouldn't buy into it. They just wouldn't buy into the philosophy. Yes, there are times to put your arms around players, but it would be I would have to walk in there and I would have to make these guys understand. You really understand what this club means. I don't think anybody in the world is going to win the league with this set of players. I think you or I could go into that club and do what Carrick's done. I do. And some people say, oh, you're a fucking idiot. I know. I truly believe that many of you would be able to go into that club and do what Carrick has done. Put your arms around these players. Tell them that they're fantastic. I don't see what Carrick that has done that is so groundbreaking and amazing. That one of you with passion, one of you with your intelligence, one of you, with your knowledge of this club. I don't think that Carrick would be the only one. I think one of you guys could walk into that club, be honest, be presentable, and do the same thing. I do. It's going to be Carrick no matter what. No idea what will mean in terms of bringing in new players or getting rid of players. As Sporting, the director of football, exactly. Sure. And as I said to you, I think it was last week, I got told it's going to be Michael Carrick, and I'm going to stick to that. Unless Michael Carrick drops out of the top 5, which 7 points in front of the Blues now, If that happens, Michael Carrick will probably not get the job. But as it stands now, he would have to basically capitulate to like Arsenal levels. He would have to bottle harder than an Arsenal to not get this job. So I trust the person that has told me this. Again, they've been right on so many things, that Michael Carrick is going to get the job, and I'm learning to deal with that. I'm learning to deal with it. Liam says it's a tricky manager market at the moment. Iraola was known in Spain for being a giant killer, underdog manager. Certain coaches are better off at smaller clubs. Emery at Arsenal, Moyes at United, etc. Yes, I have the feeling I would be a good coach. When I'm older, I'll try to get AFC coaching license and coach some Saudi team. I'd hope for the best. Mate, you might as well go for it, buddy. I would gamble on Carrick and give the man the benefit of the doubt and see how he gets on. Hala Madrid says Hamid. Saying I like Tielemans. I drank a bottle today, Arsenal. He'd just be the new Amorim, yes. Not given a chance to Carrick when he's done half decent is not fair in my eyes. I think he's earned a chance. What can we lose? Look, and again, look, I find it very difficult to disagree with you. Look, I don't think you're wrong. Like this is the thing, right? I completely understand what you're saying, and I think that's going to happen. I'm in some respects, I'm clinging on to principles that are not there. I know that I am. I'm talking more so from a hypothetical situation, as if it's based on truth. It's not. I don't want to give a manager a chance. I think that we are spicy. I think we are, or we were, one of the biggest clubs in the world. We are the biggest, if not second now. We are the biggest club in England. Obviously, I'm biased on that one. We shouldn't be giving Michael Carrick an opportunity because he's done half decent. Like spicy, this is my view. We should be giving a manager a job because he's the best of the best, and he's going to bring us the best. He's going to bring us the Premier League. When did we start not bringing in coaches for us to win a league? When Pep leaves, and Pep will leave soon, they're not going to go and get a coach because he's done half decent. They're not going to go and get a coach because they want to fight for top three. They're going to go get a coach because they're going to want to win a league. When Slot gets the sack, Liverpool are going to probably sit down a little bit harder, and they're going to go out and get a coach who's going to win them the league. When we sit down, we're looking at a budget and we're saying, well, actually, can we afford where maybe if we don't spend here and we don't spend there, they're going out and going to get a coach who's going to win us the league. We're given potentially one of the most important jobs. Well, it is the most important job in football, I think, now at a pivotal time, to a manager who is 44 years old, not that much experience, who at the moment in the last 7 games has got a 43% win. I really thought that Dick Emery, or Dracula, whichever you choose, was going to lead Villa to the title after that amazing run, but I'm on the fence about having him. We have been in limbo for so long. I say give Carrick a chance. Financially, we can't afford to take a chance and finish 15th again, says Lim. Guys, would you donate for United to win a trophy? I would give my nails for the FA Cup. You lost to Leeds. How have you done that? Harry, it's quite simple. It's quite simple, my friend. How you lose to Leeds is it's really easy, right, Harry? What you do, the ingredients is that you go to Ireland on the piss for 25 days, right? Then you pretend you're running around on a pitch when you're really pissed up. They've all been pissed up. Then you come back Michael Carrick talks about how the boys have done well, the boys have done great. And then you go on a pitch and then you let Leeds score after 4 minutes and then you let them score again. You let them dominate the game. And then you pull someone's hair, get a red card. And then you then decide to play when it's too late. Yeah, that's how you lose to Leeds, mate. That's how you lose to Leeds. I would give up my cousin for the Premier League. The new manager bounce is gone. Now we can see Carrick resolved with 6 games left, says Switch. Exactly. Hammer says goodbye. The Leeds match could just be a glitch and we will bounce back. Look, Simon, all I'm going to say, Simon, on that is I hope you're right. But, was Newcastle a blip? Was Bournemouth a blip? Was Everton a blip? We've not, have the last 7 games, other than Aston Villa, who Aston Villa weren't exactly on a good run. Crystal Palace weren't exactly the best either. All I'm saying is, Simon, I hope you're right, my friend, but how long is it going to be until is it a blip? Is it a blip? We've seen this now for 7 games. Is this a blip? I'm going to say, consistency breeds consistency. So we've been consistently playing poor, and I don't think it is a blip. I barbecue my firstborn for a Premier League title. That's strong. That's strong. That's strong, Switch. That is strong. These owners need to get their crap together. Even if they don't get some good signings, yep, exactly. I would donate half of my liver for a Carabao Cup. At the end of the day, I think Carrick deserves a chance. To me, he's earned. And look, Spicy, Spicy, I can't argue with that, mate. There is no argument for me. Look, I respect the opinions on here. It's not something that is personal to you, and I think it's a very logical, and I think it's a very, very fair thing to say when you're presented with the facts of Enrique's not coming, Nagelsmann is not coming. That there is a small glimmer of hope there. I guess that he hasn't turned around and said piss off yet. When faced with those facts, who is left? Carrick, Iraola, Glasner, Emery. Emery's Villa has fallen apart. I would still take a punt on him. Glasner is not good enough for me. Iraola, I think he's good enough, but there is a massive chance. So when you're faced with that, Spicy, what else? And that is my ultimate point. That is the mic drop here. Is we're all forced to say, he's done well. Let's give him a chance. I think that should be the slogan. I think that should be the slogan for our club, in terms of players, in terms of the coach, in terms of the internal teams. We are united. We'll give you a chance. Wilcox, we give him a chance. Omar Barada, we give him a chance. These players, we give him a chance. Shesko, I love Shesko. I think he's great, but he's not Premier League. He wasn't Premier League proven, and it shows. We gave him a chance. Michael Carrick, give him a chance. We should be called United. Give him a chance, FC. I'd step on Lego for a month for an FA Cup. It's one game. Michael Carrick has to stay. You guys have been rubbish with all these terrible coaches, and now you're winning. So stick with him. Look, and again, look, I understand. I understand these comments. Look, for me, I will support him when he gets appointed, but he wouldn't be my first pick. Bluey Games wants to. All I'm going to say, if anybody, Bluey Games, your family is around you, keep the crossheads, keep the crosshead and the Phillips head screwdrivers away from Bluey Games, because if you go to screw it, it's not going to smell good. So if you know him, Bluey Games or her, I was assuming that you're, a chap. Keep the screwdrivers away, because unspeakable. We have nearly 45k wonderful people on this channel. Let's build up to 50. Look, Simon, look, thank you, my friend. Look, we are building something amazing on this channel, and it's all thanks to you guys. This is a proper fan channel. That is something now that we can say that is our slogan. This is a United Devil channel. We would do things to our bodies to win a title. There were unspeakable things that we will do just to win a cup. And also, that is what real fans do. Real fans don't go selling their channels. Real fans will cut bits of their body off and put things in places that are not meant to go there to win stuff. Those are real fans. There you go. Been here since June 2005. So Bluey Games, yeah, legend. Iraola has a bowler. I mean, how can you? Oh, that is awesome. Honestly, Iraola is the best in the league, bar Pep, says Glenn. First, Isaac returns to Liverpool, and now Ekatike gets injured. Are they taking it in turns? I would throw a glass bottle at half time at Team Talk and get these players to play for the badge. With Bournemouth, you can see clear patterns of play when they have the ball. And you look, I like Iraola. I think he is a bloody good coach. You can see it. I just think Iraola will fail at this club, because this ownership, until these owners start acting like serious people, it doesn't matter. We would throw Iraola under the bus. Now, I like Iraola. I think he's got patterns of play. The win percentage is a little bit of a concern, but he's managed Bournemouth. He's managed these unfashionable teams, and I just think he would get eaten up again. I'd offer refs each round for some easy goals. I think Iraola will end up back in Spain. Got to keep Carrick. Look, again, no issue with that as well. What if Carrick doesn't actually want the job? Herbie, do you know what? Herbie's just come in there with a cracker. Herbie's just come in there and fired in a cracker. We're all just assuming. That Michael Carrick is going to take the job. Wouldn't it be funny? If Sir Jim, spoiler alert, Sir Jim, walks in, oh, Michael, Champers, Carrick, the job's yours. Oh, Carrick, you've done a fantastic job. And Carrick goes, no, mate. No thanks, mate. I'm gone. Bye. That would be fucking hilarious. But I don't think you would. Eric says Carrick is not good enough to be a United manager. He's going to get the job, but what does that say for us? We're a club with the biggest legacy in English football, and he's going to get the job. Joke, Eric. I've got to say, Eric, I agree with you. I do agree with you. I don't blame Michael Carrick. I don't blame him. Like, if someone's going to offer you that job, and as a aspiring young English coach, what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to say no, thank you? He is going to get the job. I agree with you. A British club needs a British manager, says Simon. United says we already have tried our other managers and they flopped. Carrick is the safe option. Better to build stability than throw it out of the window. Look, I think you make a good argument, but we've been trying to build stability. Look, how can we build stability? How can we build stability when we sack a manager every 2 to 3 years? We were sacking the manager every 3.5 years. It went down to 3, 2. Now it's 18 months. I'm I don't disagree with the context. I don't at all. But if this, all I'm going to say tonight is this: if this club gives Michael Carrick a job, and I'm sat here saying I wouldn't pick Michael Carrick. I will support Michael Carrick, but I wouldn't pick him. When it goes wrong, are we still going to be saying give Michael Carrick time? If Michael Carrick next season was to finish 12th, 13th, United, are you still going to say he's a safe option, give him time? That's all I'm saying here, because I get a bit confused with this fan base at times, because we say we want stability, let's give him time, and I do agree with you. I agree that we need stability. I do agree that we need to be safe. And look, let's not be trying to win a Premier League straight away. I would love to win a Premier League. We've got to be consistent. Let's consistently be finishing third. Let's consistently be getting to semi-finals, a final. Let's get into the Champions League. Agree with that completely. But then at what point do we, if Michael Carrick finishes 12th, do we give him another season? Amorim, people forget this. Amorim was 6th when he was sacked. We were on the same points as Chelsea on 31. Liverpool were on 34. Aston Villa were on something like 44, right? Well, if Amorim had finished 5th, a jump from 15 to 5th, when that 15th season wasn't on him and he jumped to 5th, that's 10 spots. We're never going to know that now, right? But if Michael Carrick finishes, say, 3rd or 4th this season, and then drops down to 12th for next season, are we going to give him time? Has he then bought himself time, or are we going to be saying, well, he's got to leave? This experiment again has failed. At what point do we measure this stability? What is this stability measured on? Because we damn well know INEOS are not going to give a manager stability. We damn well know they're not going to give him time. Sir Jim has lied to this fan base already. He's lied to the media. There is an interview that I've put on the channel that he basically said that any clubs that don't give a manager at least 2 or 3 years, if you don't give a manager at least 3 years, then you should be taken out, hung, drawn, and quartered. You should be your bits spread across the world. We don't do these things, champers. And that is exactly what he did. So Michael Carrick is the safe option, but it doesn't mean that Michael Carrick is going to get time. And I know what's going to happen if we get into the Champions League. He gets the job. These players, and unless he gets given the players, will be 7th going into Christmas. We might be out of the Champions League, and then what's going to happen then? Chris says, sometimes not playing in a few weeks is bad for a team, but be aware of the position. Appreciate that for now. And Chris, more than anything else, Michael Carrick has done a fucking fantastic job. Let's be having this straight. Whatever I say about the long term, Michael Carrick has done a wonderful job. And none of this is his fault. Michael Carrick should get all of the plaudits, even though from a tactical perspective, from a performance perspective, what is he supposed to do? So from that perspective, and also, look, I'm enjoying being 3rd right now. The performance against Leeds was absolutely abysmal, and it worries me going into next season. But if you had have asked me after watching the preseason games, I watched them all. If you'd asked me after the last one, I think it was it Bournemouth or Leeds, we would finish 3rd, but we would be playing shit. I would bitten your hand off. So I think that you're right. What world-class coaches are coming in and who would turn this around? But again, look, I think the argument falls flat. I do. I think that's a very I think that's a very basic argument. I think it's such a basic argument to just say what world-class coach is going to come then. Well, you make them come. Like, the reason why they're not coming is you can't, you can do, but I think being so basic as to say, well, the reason why we've got to keep him is because no world-class coach is going to come. What should be asked is, well, he's got to come in. No world-class coaches is going to come, and the question should be why, not just no coaches are going to, and we've just got to accept it. Why aren't world-class coaches coming to this club? Why is Michael Carrick going to get the job? I think a point worth making is no matter who the manager is, they need the players. It's 2026. Luke Shaw is still starting. He should even be at the club, and I think that's it. I think that is it. I think 100% true. I do. Grace says, Bruno Fernandes. I've got no problem. I've got no issue. As the managers don't always matter. Roberto Di Matteo has Champions League, for goodness sake. Anyone who doesn't want Carrick, who's going to come in then because no good managers are available. Wilcox needs to be sacked. He's so out of his depth. Jack William says worst club in the UK. No, there are worse clubs. There are worse clubs. At least the manager who comes in will know what he's going to get into. He won't be some yes man letting Ahmad nap during training and let Maguire take a road trip to London. Nil for Bayern Munich, says Bobby. I think no world-class coach is going to come in. If Carrick took over instead of Amorim, then I think we would have got a new keeper and not put Onana or Binder in goal for the first 3 games. Look, Simon, I don't think it's fair to do that. Look, it's a valid opinion to put that out there. I could say if Ruben Amorim was still here, I still think that we'd probably finish somewhere between 4th and 5th. It's not going to happen. We're never going to know that. But I think that's probably the least of our problems. Watch Carrick goes and the cycle continues with some washed coach who... Look, you watch Michael Carrick. Michael Carrick, the cycle is going to continue. The cycle is going to continue with Michael Carrick here or not. Michael Carrick, the manager, is not the problem. It is the Glazers. We are looking at the wrong problem. We are talking about the manager because ultimately the manager is going to come into this club. That's a fact. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who is in charge. The cycle is going to continue until we get rid of the Glazers. And INEOS, Stephen says Leeds. Yes, you don't only went to Ireland for the Guinness. Exactly. From 15th to 3rd, I'm happy with the major positives. Exactly. I would sacrifice a Dallo for a Premier League title, says Grace. Wow. Southgate. I think Michael Carrick is Southgate. I think Michael Carrick is Southgate in disguise. Mate, why do you always talk nonsense? Can you say something positive out of your mouth? You clearly don't understand football. That's your view. I guarantee you, I understand and watch more football than you have. I guarantee you. What you don't like about me, and what you don't like about this channel, clearly. So I don't know why you're here. Is I don't do bullshit, mate. I don't do bullshit. You tell me. I agree with what this chat is saying. I just have a different view. I just have a different opinion. I'll put a different opinion on it. If you don't like what I'm saying, then go to a channel that services your needs. If your needs are you want to live in La La Land and you want to be told, look, I think there are some comments on here that are different to mine. I don't disagree. Somebody's saying there in the chat to stick with Michael Carrick. And those reasons are intelligent. They are intelligent and they're right, because they are right. There is nobody else. If we can't get a Nagelsmann, if we can't get somebody else of that ilk, then you might as well give it to Carrick. I agree with that statement, but I can also put in a different spin on it. What is it that you want me to say? Do you want me to say that Michael Carrick is the greatest coach in the history of the world? We didn't, we basically only lost to Leeds because Leeds were just really, really lucky. Leeds were just really, really lucky. We were the best team. We've got the best players in the entire world. No, that's not how it works. That is not how it works. It says some of the top players in the Prem weren't Prem proven. That's not the best logic. And look, United, I agree with you. I agree with you. Michael Carrick, as we are talking about, this is that show. If Michael Carrick gets us to third or fourth, and there is nobody else around, Michael Carrick does deserve his shot at the job. He does. But all I'm asking for is the club to back him, because I'll back him. I've got no problems. Just because I initially don't want a manager, and I think just as I think you're entitled to want the manager, your reasoning to want him is, there's nobody else around. You want to give him a chance. He's done a good job. I think those are all valid reasons. My reasons for not wanting him are, I don't think he's experienced enough. From a tactical perspective, I've not seen a lot. Those are the reasons that I don't want him now. But you can't tell me that you can guarantee that he's going to be good. I can't sit here and say he's definitely not going. He's going to be bad. But if Michael Carrick is picked, I will back him. I will 100% back him. Jim, I'm not going to read that out. Shesko with the right tutoring and services will be our top scorer. We weren't great. We weren't great. So Jim, I love that answer. I'm sorry. Look, Jim has come in strong, right? Jim has come in strong, called us a bunch of scummers. He's outnumbered and said so were the Spartans. Jim, I love it. I love it. If I have kids, I'd give my left nut. I love this club, but we need to have more fight. Yes, I do. Did you answer before, JB? I don't know what I'm supposed to answer, mate. Or did I answer? I don't know, mate. I don't know. If Arsenal bottle the league, wait for him in the parking lot. Was Danny Higginbottom one of your best players? I love it. We need Garnacho back. I don't think we do, buddy. Lampard in the frame for the Bournemouth job. Loves the goal against. Brilliant, absolute brilliant. That Spartan comment was fantastic, mate. That was good. That was good. Iceman cometh, third good season for you lot in the end. Might get the Champions League space. Jim, mate, that comment is cracking me up. A lot of unnecessary hate in our fan base. Look, I think spicy, mate. I think it's difficult. I think when people come on here and people listen to me talk, I think they get confused between toxicity, and I think they get confused with somebody who's having an opinion. I love this club. I want these players to do extremely well. I want us to win leagues, and I will back that. But I'm also not toxic positivity. You know, my prediction: Spurs are relegated. Carrick takes over and improves them in the Championship. Goes back to his old club. I opened a can of worms here. Apologies in advance, but Go Bridge didn't sell out. Look, Ray, mate. That's your view, mate. Look, that's your view, Ray. If you want to start a conversation about someone else's channel on someone else's channel, mate, all I'm going to say, Ray, is this: look, I'm open, Ray. Ray, you know that I respect you, buddy, and I will pretty much talk about most things. But all I'm going to say is that if you're going to come on here and you're going to start talking and open up a debate conversation about someone else on their channel, on another channel, yeah. This has been a very good season for United. As you can see, the last game against Leeds was terrible. How can you see, man? Don't know. I've got a feeling that the Spuds will stay up, says Jim. Everyone is so obsessed with Spurs. In the golden days, when you supported United, you knew the trophies were inevitable each season. You could almost bet your house on United getting the league or the FA Cup. I'd love to see it these days. If it ain't broke, then don't fix it. United could get relegated to League 3. I'd still love my club. Exactly. Jim, I just want to see them get relegated. You'd think I'd want it. Part of me would miss the nemesis. Boxing Hub, legend channel. If INEOS are going to give him the job, they need to give him the time and not backtrack when it all starts to go wrong. Exactly. Boxing Hub is absolutely spot on as always. Sir Jim is just hilarious. Third is considerably better than 15th. We've seen United over these past games how the chemistry has improved and how Michael, as the manager, has changed the environment and the mindset. Brian, I think you make good points, Brian. I'm not going to say that you're wrong. Paul James Owens is in the house. Absolute legend. After seeing the PSG game tonight, I can vouch we ain't ready for 2 games a week. Nothing to do with Carrick, but I don't trust these players and they don't have enough passion. And I think Paul just comes in there and whacks it out of the park. This is not about Carrick. We could. It's almost a bit like you buy yourself a car, you go and buy yourself a Porsche, right? And you bring it home and it's the wrong color blue, right? And you're arguing over a blue Porsche and you don't like the color. It should have been a different color. It's an awful color. But you've forgotten one thing, right? The Porsche's come home. The Porsche's come home on a truck. The truck has left the Porsche outside of your house, and the one thing that you've forgotten about is there's no fucking engine in it. You're arguing about the colours when it doesn't even drive. We're arguing about a coach when the fundamental parts, the engine, INEOS, the Glazers that make the sodding thing work, are shit. So Paul is right. Unless we get players, Michael Carrick is going to be thrown under the bus as well. Like if we install him as the manager, we've got to back him. Give him 300 million pounds. Like if he is your guy, don't go half-arsed. Back him. Let's see what he's about. Back him. But we won't do it. United won yesterday. No. Can we find someone else to talk about this? Carrick talk is getting repetitive. Yeah, look, we were just talking about the Iraola thing tonight. Let's focus on the Champions League now. Well, we're not in it yet. Brand says, how are you doing, mate? I am doing very well. Saka has been poor this season. Our team is turning into Jurassic Park. Bluey Games, see you later, buddy. Nobody asked. Okay. Amorim was funny. That was a crazy time. People complain, but Spurs are going to go down. If Amorim was still here, we would be 10th or 12th. Yesterday was shocking. Can't blame the Glazers for how we played. They're the turds, but they're not on the pitch. Interesting opinion there. I still blame the Glazers. Blame the Glazers while eating a glazed donut. Fucking hell. Love the blue shirt. Yeah, the blue shirt is my favourite shirt. No, Jim, this literally is just my natural stubble. This is how my beard grows. Jim, yeah, this literally is just my beard. I hated Ten Hag and Amorim skin-coloured pants. You only lost to Leeds because you know you were second best team. Look, it's true, we did. JB is the perfect host. Can't fault the way you come across. It's just straight from the horse's mouth, says Simon. Hello, JB. Thank you. You know, I don't entitled to you, can't we? Summer will tell me the ambition of the club exactly. Who wins on the weekend? Arsenal or City? I think is going to be City. Dino is in disguise. Dino is in disguise as the Boxing Hub. Go and check out the Boxing Hub, by the way. It is very, very good. And we shot it out loud because we love you, Leeds. Love it. Chelsea seem to get through so many managers. Brian says, as we are looking at the end of the season, they have a lot of pressure going into the Champions League. I've got a feeling City are going to steamroll us 4-0. I've been a fan of this club for 52 years. I more or less bleed this club, says Simon. We've got no offence. Jokeres. Jim is cracking me up. Jim is hilarious. I asked, can we get a watch along for the game tomorrow? Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think that should be fine tomorrow. I see what my day's like tomorrow, but it should be fine. Ryan says Goldbridge is a closet Liverpool fan that lives at home with his mum. That's because you all have been a United is in a loop of some come in and get results, then falls apart. And I'm looking in as someone who once mainly watches the Bundesliga. So am I, JB. Come on, JB, let's do it. Yeah, I'll do it. I will do it tomorrow night. Don't you worry. I will do it. The community has spoken. Ryan says we will qualify for the Champions League and we'll go out at the group stage. Glazers are to blame for the big picture. And they are. Feel like there's a big problem about the Glazers because they keep saying bad stuff. Batman, just the United, but we have seen very good improvement of this team. Interesting view. That this is all good. It's all good. So look, guys, I am going to go. Look, another fantastic show. Look, really interesting points tonight. You know, I know JB is a man of the people. Well, I try to be. I'm a simple man. I'm a simple man. But look, the absolute legend. I will do a watch along tomorrow. I think it's going to be an interesting game, so I will do a watch along for that tomorrow. I will plan to do one tomorrow, so let's see how that goes. But look, you know, I know at the moment, I know it's a bit of I know there's a lot of different debate points going on at the moment, but I think the one thing that we probably can agree on, those of us who are not necessarily that we're not necessarily convinced Carrick is the right guy, but the one thing I will be damn sure on is I will support him in no matter what happens. But look, thank you for the support as always. I love these streams. These evening shows are my favourite shows. You know, we do get into it. We can go off on a tangent. I know tonight was a Carrick. We will move away from that. I'll do a watch along tomorrow, and we can talk about someone else's team tomorrow. We don't have to worry about that. And we'll get into all that good stuff tomorrow. So look, guys, thank you for watching Duo Legends of this channel. we are now pushing towards 45,000 subscribers, which is ridiculous. Never thought that would happen. And it is all thanks to you guys. You are legends of this channel, and I can't thank you all enough. So look, I'm JB. This is the United Devil channel. I will be back tomorrow, and yeah, have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.